All right, ready to roll. Who's batting leadoff?
All right, Jesse Crittenden. Ted, you talked a little bit after the game, the performance you guys had at defending the run against Iowa State. Just how big was that? Does that give kind of momentum going into the season, especially when you face a guy like Richard Reese and Baylor this weekend?
Well, yeah, it was. There were a lot of improvement, and at the same time, there's a lot of things that we got to get better at. But we certainly did a better job against that. But could have been better. The quarterback scramble there. I think it was a 28-yard gain there, and then the fourth quarter that was disappointing. But overall, yeah, I mean, it was improvement. There was an improved physicality, but there's still a lot of meat left on the bone, and hopefully that does give us some confidence. But again, the work ethic and the belief and the commitment of our guys, you see a incremental improvement, and there certainly was that. And we need to do the same thing this week because Baylor's really physical up front, and they're going to pound the ball. And I think the running back of the last two games he's played has had over 30 carries in both the games. So they're committed to running the football, and then all the things that come off a very efficient, very good run game, all the play actions, the boots, the screens, the things that come off of it. When you start adding people to the box to take care of the run game, then you got to play the deep balls. So there's a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunities at the same time, and it'll be a big challenge for us, and we got to have a great week of preparation. Sure.
Let's go to Red Avery.
Yeah, Ted, what was your assessment of Billy Bowman's performance on Saturday, and how close do you feel like he was to where he was when he got hurt? And just where do you think he is as far as mobility-wise?
Well, it was good to have him back because he's one of the best football players on our team. So it was good to have him back. There wasn't a lot of practice, and he practiced a couple days before that. So for him to get back out there was certainly a real positive for us, and at the same time to knock some of the rust off. Because anytime you miss as much time, especially for a young player, Billy's still a very young player and is certainly young in this system. So it was good to get him back out there, good to have him, and it'll be good to take the next step this week.
And having him back, how much does that change things as far as the makeup back there? I know you've used some young players quite a bit when he'd been out. It had to shift, obviously, some with Woody there. How much does that help and change things on the back end?
It certainly helps, and at the same time, the positives that came out of that were some of those young guys got, valuable game reps, and there's no substitute for that. So there was some positive that was the positive that came out of it, and, which should give us, as we continue to go through the season, a little bit more depth with some guys that have had some game reps, Sure.
Ted, what were your initial thoughts on Deshaun White when you were evaluating him during the winter, and how has it changed, or what has impressed you the most now that you've been able to coach him?
I knew he was a guy that had a lot of ability and had been a solid player, and he played his best football game this past Saturday. He's become more physical, more decisive when he makes a decision. He sees it and he goes, and playing with more confidence. And he's been playing well for us, and need to continue to him to, finish his Oklahoma career in the right way.
Go to the front right.
Ted, with a running back like Richard Reese, who's just seemingly stepped in and found his footing in the Big 12, what impresses you most about a freshman running back in general who can really just translate straight from high school to this level?
Well, playing as a freshman in this league is tough to begin with, and not just playing, but playing at the level that he's played at. When you post the kind of numbers that he's had, he's very tough, he's powerful, he's patient and sets up his blockers, and then when he sees it, he bursts, and he runs through arm tackles. We've got, again, watching him on tape, a lot of respect for him, and know we're going to have to wrap up and tackle really well in order to get him down.
On Saturday, Brent talked about the kicking game on the whole as a weapon for you guys, but Michael Turk all year has punted among the best in the nation, and I guess what kind of a weapon can he be for this? Is he for this defense, and what might those of us on the outside not recognize about what he gives you guys and setting you guys up?
Well, he had a couple huge plays in that game the other day to flip the field and give us field position. And football always has been, and always will be a game of field position. And he's had a fantastic year, and we'd like to see those rocket ships take off. Yeah.
James Hale.
Ted, how good of a covering game was it for you in this game? And on the flip side, Baylor's offensive line, maybe the best offensive line you're going to face this year?
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was a step in the right direction, a step forward, and pleased with the improvement. And at the same time, the process doesn't change. We're going to, we've got to get better this week. And you're right, very experienced, very veteran offensive line that's extremely physical, well coached, and very, very efficient. And it's going to be a real challenge because they are one of the best units. Yeah.
Far right in the front, Justin.
Hey, Coach. Sticking with the defensive line, the stat everyone wants to throw out is they finally got their first sack in conference play. But, just what specifically do you see that they can really build off of from that last game against Iowa State?
The physicality. Took a step in the right direction from a physicality standpoint. Still got a lot of room for improvement, areas for growth. But yeah, they took a step in the right direction, as I thought our defense did. But that's last week. Now it's this week, and we got to do the same thing. Yeah, sure.
Hey, over there, Ryan Chapman.
Talking about the interceptions, it seemed like Woody's and Danny specifically had an element of kind of anticipation, reading what's going on there.
What?
Element of anticipation,
Okay,
kind of reading.
Yeah.
Does that speak to just a comfort level as you've pressed on in this year in the new defense, that those guys are settling in, being able to kind of anticipate, read the game a lot better and enforce those turnovers?
Yeah, I think it does. I think that, Woody went up and, had a 50-50 ball, and he won, and he made a big play there at the end of the game, too, for us. And Danny had, on Justin's interception, Danny had put some color underneath the receiver and forced the quarterback to throw it high, and Justin was in great position and picked it off. And then on Danny's ball, his interception, he was playing zone coverage and playing off the eyes of the quarterback, vision and break, and that anytime you take the ball away, it's big plays, and to put our offense on a short field to play complementary football, and when we've done that this year, it's proved to bode well for us, like it does most every year when you take the ball away.
Early in the season, when those things aren't coming in, Brent has talked about, it seems like guys are second guessing at times, things like that. But to settle in and make that, does that speak to just mentally how far everyone's come along just in the system throughout the year?
Well, I think it's certainly a sense of increased confidence and improvement. So yeah, to your point, yeah, that certainly that. And at the same time, again, there's so much more meat left on the bone that we got to get. We're in a race against the clock to get better. Yeah.
Yeah, Ted, question on the defensive line. I was going to ask that. What about the linebackers? How are they progressing? How have you seen growth from them? How did you grade them on Saturday?
Well, I thought that as a group, that was one of our best games. There was a lot of strain, a lot of physicality. I thought we tackled well. And again, there's some areas that we've got to get better at, like most every area. But I thought from a physicality and a production standpoint, they did a nice job, and I was proud of them.
Are there areas you can illustrate for us where they stepped, like Danny, for instance, he might not have made that interception in week 1 or week 3, but week 8 comes along and he sees things better, sees things that's happening slower for him, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Are there any illustrations like that?
Yeah, with the game reps that he's had now, because Danny's played a lot of football this year for us, with the confidence and the understanding of where he fits, where he belongs on this call or that, because every call there's a responsibility in the run game and the pass game that goes along with it. So I think that certainly his comfort level and his confidence, and he's put a lot of time and a lot of work into it. And again, I think he saw some of the fruits of his labor. But like to my point earlier, being able to play team defense where Danny had enough depth in his drop and forced the quarterback to elevate the throw, which Justin caught. So I mean, it all goes hand in hand together playing team defense. So yeah, we're getting better, but like I said, we got got to get better real quick. Sure.
Ted, for Jordan Kelly getting that sack, I mean, just what have you seen from him? What's kind of been, I guess, his progression through the season? How would you evaluate how he's playing? And I mean, it's another guy kind of like Deshaun that has this last year left.
Yeah. That was a big play for us. Because when you put teams behind the sticks, that's, then they become a lot more predictable, which, that was a big play for us with Jordan. And he's a guy that, has been here a while and is working hard to get better. And it was a big play for us in the game, and need more of those from him.
Back right.
I assume with the defensive line and linebackers turning in one of their better games together and meshing together, that's not a coincidence that they kind of match up and play team defense together like that.
Yeah, with the increased reps, as far as and I thought the plan for the open week, I thought that Coach Venables, the plan was excellent. We were able to get our work done and improve, and at the same time get fresh. And but the cohesion of that and playing off, understanding where in this call where the defensive tackle is going to be and what gap you have and what happens if they do this or do that, there was an increased understanding. And again, we need to keep going like that.
Is it also just continued confidence at the end of the day that those guys can go out there and play?
Yeah, it increased. Yeah, I think that they played with more confidence Saturday, and as the game got going, played with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and they played together, and it was fun to watch.
On Danny's interception, I'm just curious, maybe they're two totally different play calls. I was just curious. It seemed like when Iowa State scored their touchdown, it was kind of a crosser, maybe that crossed the face of Danny. And then later in the game, when he made the pick, it seemed like another route similar to that same route. Not sure if that had any sort of similarities to each other. Maybe he learned from the previous play at all. I don't know if that was connected at all or if you saw that in tape. And I'm just kind of curious your thoughts.
Well, you're right. There were different calls, and they were different routes. But yeah, the touchdown route was we didn't do a very good job. And then obviously on his pick, he did a great job. So, but just kind of different. And but yeah.
So it wasn't like I saw this before, now I'm going to see it again. It was two different plays.
Yeah, but I tell you what, there were some things in the game where, like, they saw it, we saw it, and got it communicated on the sidelines and got things corrected, and to be able to take that and apply it so the next time you go out, you get it fixed so the same thing doesn't keep happening over and over and over again. To your point, yeah, there was some of that, yeah, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah, sure.
Quick follow, you're upstairs on the headset.
Yeah.
Are you talking to the linebackers at that point? Are you talking to everybody or just coaching staff?
Everybody.
Okay. I'm just wondering how you got that communication
Well,
from.
we talked to the staff, and the staff, gives the corrections and the adjustments that we need to do, and so that part of it, that's the communication piece. Yeah. All right. Good deal, y'all.